can I introduce to you my friend Theo Caldwell. Theo, great to see you.
Nice to see you.
We were at the Sun News Network on the very first day of that company, starting back in 2011. Thank you for being with us on our first day here in our studio.
No, it's my pleasure. It occurs to me that last federal election we were all together, and we won that one, right? And there was I made a lot of jokes. I started spewing nicknames left and right. It's nice to get the band back together, at least for one night, right? We'll see what happens.
Well, you keep busy. I mean, you do some stuff for us. You're on AM 1010 Talk Radio here in Toronto.
Yeah.
What now? Listen, I lean conservative. So do you. Obviously, that's our brand here. The results aren't in, but we can see the trend. Would you say we're in for a Bob Rae style decade of darkness?
Buddy, listen, I appreciate what you're trying to do.
Will you tell me?
One of the many things I've always admired about you is your sunny disposition in the face of adversity. And I heard you here tonight. I heard all you're saying. Oh, you know, I'm going to try to be positive, and you're asking like who are going to be the wise men in the Liberal Party. Let me explain something to you. It's over, man. Nice little country we used to have here. It's done. It's done. Let's assume present trends continue and Justin becomes, King Justin the first of his name. But let me tell you something. It's not just that Justin is, it seems to be, going to be prime minister, okay? And let me save you the suspense. He's going to be horrible. And what did you say before? Chrystia Freeland as finance minister? Good God, man, she wouldn't know the answer to a doorbell. But let's get past that for a second. It's not just that Justin's going to be prime minister, it seems, and what he might do. What did he say? Call the premiers together and talk about climate change, first thing. All right, by the way, how the premiers going to get to that meeting? Unicycle?
Right.
Carrier pigeon?
Yeah.
They're assuming they're going to take something that takes fossil fuels. But it's not just that Justin's going to be prime minister. It's that this country is so completely mentally checked out to elect this ridiculous ballerina to be in charge. The guy comes waddling along with nothing but his dad's surname, a smirk, and a dance belt, and we're putting him in charge of the country?
Well, okay. I got two questions for you. Number one is, does he really control all the levers? You've got 10 premiers, and not everything in life is decided by politics. Some things are decided by ordinary people. Does a disastrous Justin Trudeau, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, does a disastrous Justin Trudeau have the power to lights out for a whole country? Or has 10 years of Stephen Harper given us enough momentum that we can survive?
First, I think the devil would be very lucky to have you as advocate if he could afford your hourly rate. That's A. Now, two, you're making kind of my point here, because this is what I'm saying. I'm saying culture is vastly more important than politics. You're right. It doesn't necessarily matter who's in this office or that office, who's prime minister or who's president. But the fact that the culture is so completely drifted away from anything that we used to know, that you can moor yourself to it, where people had any brains or judgment at all. The culture that would elect a Justin Trudeau or a Barack Obama, that's what worries me the most. One more thing, you said, can he really destroy the country? From a policy, economic perspective, absolutely yes. You know very well, Ezra. Let's say, God help us, saints preserve us, Justin gets a majority tonight. You know that a prime minister in Canada with a majority has got more power over this country than any democratically elected leader anywhere in the Western world. So yeah, he can screw us up economically, policy-wise. Energy, I heard you talking about energy and trade. He can wreck everything. That's true. He can do that. Forget about the premiers. It doesn't matter. But the fact that this country is so far drifted from what it used to be, that they would vote for a guy like this.
Well, you know, one of my favorite blogs is called smalldeadanimals.com.
Of course.
And Kate McMillan, she's got a phrase. She says, what we need is a famine. And she doesn't mean it seriously. What she means is things are so good for us. We're so comfortable and wealthy that we can gamble on foolish things like electing Justin Trudeau as prime minister. And I'm wondering if the fact that Stephen Harper kept us out of the Great Recession, we were the last ones in, we were the first ones out, it was the shallowest recession. We don't even know how lucky we've been for 10 years.
That's right.
The dogs that didn't bark, constitutional crises, there hasn't been one. There's no fight with Quebec. All these things that we lacked, that phrase, maybe we need a famine, makes me think, well, maybe, Canada needs, and I hate to say this, a dose of left-wing Dalton McGuintyism, Justin Trudeauism, good and hard, to shake people out and say deficits don't balance themselves, and we don't have, all these things we have are not the default state.
I mean, the problem with that is you can have a Dalton McGuinty, a disaster like a Dalton McGuinty, and what happens? Ontario sends the Liberals back with a majority. And frankly, when you say that a guy like Justin Trudeau unfavorably compares with Barack Obama, I heard you earlier in the thing, I think you're giving Barack Obama too much credit. I think it's a continent-wide, a Western nation-wide situation whereby nobody understands the gravitas you need to have, the varied skill set you need to have.
It's a celebrity
to lead
culture.
it is absolutely a celebrity culture.
I think people were voting for a boyfriend. I think people thought he actually rolled out an ad, Trudeau did, about his hair in the last few days. And today he's doing sort of cheerleader style sort of poses. I think people are voting for an American Idol champ, not a prime minister.
Yeah, and
Vladimir Putin, we've got to take a break in a minute.
Yeah.
What do you think the heavy guys in the world, the
God.
Chinese premier, the Russian president, Iran's ayatollahs, what do you think they're thinking?
Well, let's choose our words carefully, because I think we both are aware that Vladimir Putin and the president of China are watching this.
I know, so you're speaking directly to them.
So let me just say this to you, Vladimir Putin. Don't judge us all by the prime minister we're about to elect. But listen, can you imagine Justin Trudeau in a room with Vladimir Putin? It's going to make Vienna 1961 look like a roaring success, which of course it was for Khrushchev. No, we're done. This is what I say. Not only are we done because he's going to be disastrous on the foreign policy and domestic fronts, we're done because the country has so lost a sense of itself, it would vote for this ridiculous mooncalf instead of a guy who's been competent and, as you put it very well, a victim of his own success in the person of Stephen Harper, a guy, by the way, I don't defend, but he was absolutely the best available in this election.
Theo, great to see you again. Thanks for your passion and your humor and your irreverent style. You're a rebel in your own way.